It's time. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I am Kathy Cano-Murillo, the Crafty Chica, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Life Experienced. They are a wonderful website. Go to lifeexperienced.com. It's all about connecting with people and finding activities and hobbies that are themed around things that you like. And they invited me to do a series of Facebook Lives here on my page to help inspire and motivate people to get creative and appreciate where they are in life right now. So that is right up my alley. So I thought I would do this, and here we are. So tonight we are making vision boards. Now, I don't know, I'm sure if you're here, you've heard of vision boards. I will give you my backstory on how they have affected my life and the way that I use them. Now, what vision boards, where are my glasses? Yes, I have my glitter glasses on tonight. Oh, good, there's lifeexperience.com. They will put the links in the bio. I'm going to take my glasses off for now because of this ring light is in the way. But so what a vision board is, these have been around for decades. And it's a way to identify the things, objects, lifestyles, attitudes, vibrations that you want to attract into your life. And I started by not using an actual vision board. A vision board is where you take a piece of cardboard or poster board. Oh, here's mine right here. And you cut out pictures from magazines and you glue them on and you leave it up all year just to remind yourself of what you want to attract in your life. And what a lot of people believe is that at the end of the year, they go back and look at that vision board and realize a lot of those things actually came to be. And it's really powerful, especially if you, believe in it and put a lot of energy into it. Now, I'm a firm believer in them because I do my homework to go with them. Like, I figure I'm not just going to glue pictures to the board. I want to be very clear on my intention. Now, before I started doing vision boards, I guess you could call it manifesting, but I was here in this very art studio, and I would take bottles of paint and I would make my own labels, Crafty Chica paint, and I would put it around the store-bought bottles, and I would use those paint. So I thought, I'm not going to wait for a store to give me my own product line. I'm going to create my own product line, even if I'm the only one using it here in my studio. And you know what happened? I ended up having my own product line in craft stores with the paint. So it was, and not even then, even before then, when I was in high school, I made a to-do list of the things that I wanted to do in life. It included writing women's fiction novels because I loved Judy Blume and Beverly Cleary, all of them in high school. So I wanted to be a features reporter at the Arizona Republic and interview celebrities. I wanted to open a boutique. I wanted to travel to Europe and to Mexico. All of these things, I wrote them down, and I ended up doing all of those things throughout my life. And I never tied it back to the list. I just kind of randomly, they were things that I loved to do, and they just stayed on the top of my mind. And when I saw the opportunity to make them happen, I put that energy towards there. So it wasn't even a vision board. It was more just like a wish list of things that I wanted to do in my life. And now at this point, I've completed a lot of those things. So I'm ready to make a whole new list of things. And that's where vision boards came in. I started doing them years ago, and having my Crafty Chica brand and thinking, what do I want to do with this? How can I amplify this and take it to the next level to spread positivity through creativity? And rather than just posting on social media, which is awesome, but also thinking bigger and reaching different audiences. So I thought, okay, books are a good way to reach out. A podcast is a good way, meeting people where they are and just showing up to that community with what I have to offer to contribute. So I thought teaching workshops, doing art retreats. And once that started rolling and I did those and I was happy with those, I was like, okay, with my crafts, how can I take my crafts and do it in a different way? So then I started looking at licensing, of taking my drawings and illustration, which I'm still practicing on getting better, but we all know that you can't wait until something is perfect to take action. Take action where you are now and, you know, do the work behind the scenes to meet that. And so I started making vision boards that had giftware and greeting cards and postcards and fabric. And once I started identifying those and really believing that I could achieve those things and taking action, like even though I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still working on perfecting my illustration, but I'm still gonna try for these opportunities and every day working on it so that when the opportunity came, I was ready for it. So like my friend Eliana from Latinas Who Brunch in My Element, after you guys have heard of her, she has this thing where she always says, prepare for success. And to me, making a vision board is preparing for success. Now, no matter what stage of life that you are at, we all have these goals. And if you feel like you are ready to take on these goals and turn them into action, a vision board is such a great way to start. And we're going to work on that tonight. And while you're going through your pictures, I'm going to show you some other tools that I use and things that I make to help me stay on course, because I do a vision board every year at the beginning of the year, but then I also keep a journal where I will keep adding to it, like a visual journal, and I can reflect and look back on it and just to always keep these things in mind. Now for our vision board, this is what you can use anything. I have this poster board here. I cut it in half, and so you can see how big it is, like this, nothing fancy. And then I have, of course, you know, magazines. You go through different magazines. And this is what I do, because I'm very intentional. Like this vision board, it's like you're putting in your order to the universe, to your subconscious, to your guardian angels. You are letting everyone know this is what's on the agenda for me. Let's all get on the same page here. So in that case, I go through and I print out different pictures and images that going through magazines is great, but sometimes I can't find the specific pictures or words that I want for my vision board to carry through what I want out of the year. So rather than leave it to chance of looking through a magazine, I set my intention and I print out these pictures. So this one is has some travel. We're doing a kitchen remodel, so I have like some airy looking kitchens there to remind me I'm redoing my bedroom, so I have some cool pictures there, some travel pictures. This one is for my books, you know, bestseller, putting these things on there for my ceramics. Gracias. This is something I printed out to say thank you for everything. And then I love to print out different sayings like this. So you can find these on Pinterest. You can write up your own. If you can't find them in the magazines, you could just use these. So I love these because, you know, they just have different things, you know, like for wealth. I welcome a massive amount of money into my bank account. Like these are things that I'm going to put on my vision board. And, you know, the universe is working in my favor. New York Times bestseller. These are where I want my products to be. And so that is a proactive way. In addition to the magazines, you can go through and print those out. So say, for example, you're retired and you've always had a dream of writing a book. You could go through and print out pictures of bookstores, of people paying for a book. You could make a mock cover with your book with your name on it. Just things, the end goal of what you want for your goals. That is super helpful. And then I have some other odds and ends, like just little ephemera items that I use to embellish. And you can get these from the craft store. These are rolls of washi tape with affirmations on them. So these are great to fill in. And then I have a glue stick and some markers so that I can write things down. And I'm going to show you how to make these little booklets also. As you're gluing, you don't have to make this along. You can watch the video later to see how to do this. But I thought to fill time, that would be nice. And what we're going to start with, oh, and scissors. So before we start gluing anything, we have to get right with why we're doing this. So what we're going to do is start with a piece of paper or a journal. I have this cute pad of paper. Let me see, someone has a question here. Did you find those in your garage? Oh yeah, you know what? The scissors, luckily I have a lot of scissors. So I'm going to flip this camera over face down, and I'm going to go through some of the writing just easy list exercises that I like to do before, hi Jenny, before I go into actually making the vision board, because we want to get right with this so we know what we're doing and why we're doing it, okay? So let me go ahead and flip this. Pardon for the weird camera angle. Let me flip this around. Okay, and let's set this down here. Now we're going to be on here probably, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour, but it takes a while to do this, like once you really get into it. So don't feel like you have to rush doing this. You really want to take your time. Okay, the first thing that I like to do when I'm doing a vision board is I do these things of lists. So normally I do 10, 10, 10, but for the sake of time, and I don't want to stress anyone out, we'll do 5. So the first list is going to be our 5 top crazy desires, okay? If you do this at home on your own time, you could do 10. I like to do 10, but for the sake of time tonight, we will do 5. Okay, so 5 top desires. So I'm going to say for a top desire here, I'm going to say number 1 best-selling book. And I'm going to put finishing my manuscript. And I'm going to get super personal here. I'm going to put like big blog campaigns. And I'm going to put travel to, I'm going to put London, and I'll put Mexico on there. And number 5, I'm going to put get healthy. Okay, so now that I have these top 5 desires, these are, you know, like this is like my heart speaking right now of what I want with this. I'm going to go into my journal over here, and I'll just do the first one. So top 5, and number 1, I'd put, you know, best-selling book. And I'm going to put, why is this important to me? Like I printed out, best-selling author, bestseller. Why is this important to me? Why am I putting this on my board? Is it because I want the money from a best-selling book? Is it because I want the credit for being a best-selling book author? Is it because I want it to lead to more opportunities? Is it because I want to make my parents proud? Write these things down. So, and this is just free form journaling. So for me, I can put, I've authored 12 books, and I'm going to write this in present tense or past tense like it already happened. I've authored 12 books, and I'm ready to experience the feeling of being a #1 best-selling author. Now, I want to be specific because I put this on my list last year, and my book was #1 in the sewing category. So be specific. So you could say, #1 author for crafts, #1 author for fiction. You be specific with it. So then next I could write some more about this, of, what it means to me. And then I'm going to put, so this is the why. And then I'm going to put, how will it positively impact my life and that of my community? So here I would say, okay, this is going to impact my life in a positive way because it will give me confidence to keep writing more books. Because I know that people supported me, they paid money to make me a best-selling author, and that's a sign for me to do more of it, that I have it in me to be a best-selling author. Another positive impact is because I know I'm sharing a good story that will uplift people, and I want them to feel good after they read the book. And if it's a bestseller, it will go out to more people, therefore it will have a positive impact. And then I can put, like, what is the end goal that I want from it? So the end goal that I would want from being a best-selling author is to feel proud knowing that after writing 12 books, I finally have a best-selling book. I worked really hard for this, and it's a way that I can teach other people to do what I did and how I did it. And so we're going deep on these different top 5 desires, okay? So the next list, and you don't have to do a long story for this one, but 5 things that bring you joy. And this list, it can go beyond 5. This list can be like 100. Things that bring you joy, that you're really, really happy about, things that you love to do. So, I could put, walking, writing, coffee with friends, with good friends. So just fill that up with things that bring you joy. And then you're going to do one more of 5 things or more that you are grateful for. Because I have learned that the biggest thing that will bring abundance into your life is by showing gratitude. By having gratitude and having an open mindset of knowing there's enough for everybody, there's plenty for you, that plenty to come your way. So sit down and write down these 5 things or more that you're grateful for. Breathing, having a roof over your head, having a steady job, being creative, having craft supplies at your fingertips, you know, living in a place where there's a store down the street. Like, just have fun and write all of those things out that you're grateful for. So that is the back end homework that I do before I start my vision board. And usually these top 5 desires, they're going to direct what my vision board's going to be about. And I'm going to have the supporting reasons why they are important to me. That will make it push beyond the superficial, so that it's not just about, oh, I want a fancy car. You're going to write down, why do you want a fancy car? Is it to prove that you achieve something? Is it to have security because you've never had a brand new car before? Is it because you've always wanted that dream car? Like, what are the reasons why it's important to you? So once you know those things, you can think about those as you're building your vision board. Okay, so now we can go in to creating our vision board. And again, this other prep work, it takes some time. So don't worry if you know, if you're still working on it. I'm just going to go ahead and work on my vision board here. And from there, we can, you can keep working on whatever you're doing. And I'm just going to make this super casual. Okay, so here is the board that I have. And you can do this different ways. You can cover the whole thing with everything that you want, that you see that jumps out at you. I'm a little more strategic because I take this super, I mean, either way, it's super serious too, but I like to divide it by 4. So I will pick like home and family, finances, health, and travel. Or, you know, or maybe I'll do, sometimes I'll do the other side too with career or books, or, you know, I'll drill down a little bit more specific to whatever the item is that I want. But for today, I'm going to keep it pretty general. And so I'm just going to use my little pencil here, and I'm going to put home over here, and then I'll put health, and then I'll put wealth, and then I'll put like travel. And let's see. And then I can mix in my book stuff in the middle here. Okay? So does anyone have questions so far? I would love to hear, like, what are some of your goals that you're going to be working on? What are some of the things you want to attract into your life this year? A lot of people will put money, which is a good one. So as you're cutting out for the money, I am big on manifesting. So there's actually, if you go on Pinterest or Google, they have manifestation checks, where it will say, like, from the Bank of the Universe, and then you put in the amount that you want. You could actually use your own check and just, you know, keep it in a safe place and write it out to you. Like, that's what Jim Carrey did. Did you hear that story about Jim Carrey, how he wrote out $1 million check to himself? I think that was really cool. And I'll tell you, last year, I had a goal that I wanted to buy a brand new car in cash, and I believed I could do it. And I made this decision in October of 2021, or 2020. Was it 2020 or 2020? I don't even know what year it is. It must have been 2020. And so what I did was I found the car. It was a 2021 Kia Seltos, and I looked at the price of it, and I came up with, I cut out the picture, I taped it up by my computer, and it was $28,000. And I took the number 30, and I took off the 1,000. I just put the number 30, and I just kept seeing the number 30. and I made a separate savings account, and I just kept putting in, you know, every $1,000 I counted it as one. I kept saying, I just need to get to the number 30, like losing 30 pounds or saving $30 and painting 30 mugs. I just need to get, you know, 30 to the number 30. So once I got to 14, I'm like, this is going to take forever. So I re-looked at the car. And I said, okay, I was going for the top model with the neon lights on the dashboard. And I thought, okay, I don't need the neon lights. Like, I'm not going to be out partying at nighttime or anything. So I took that part off. It went down to 24. And I did art workshops, all different art workshops. I configured ways, different paths to reach $24,000. And between selling stuff on my online store to teaching art workshops, and on the first week of December, I went in and I bought my car in cash. And it was not about the car. It wasn't about the cash. It was just a mindset thing for finances, because I felt like my whole life I had always felt like, oh, you know, getting money is such a struggle. Other people have it, I don't have it. Like, just these limiting beliefs that are thrust upon us. And I wanted to bust through that mindset. So that's what I did. And as soon as it worked, I was like, oh my gosh, what else can I do with this in my life? And I started applying that same method to other things. And all of 2020, I spent working on the items I had put on my vision board. And 2021, they all came to fruition. I had the fabric collection come out, a greeting card collection, a new book, and some other just awesome opportunities. So that's my testament to doing things like this on the regular, to train your subconscious and your brain that you are worthy and capable of doing these things that you want to do. And rather than just thinking about them at nighttime before you go to bed, this is a way to be proactive, to put them into action. And like I said, I look at it like, you know, we all have a team, and we have a team of, you know, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, your guardian angels, just energy all around you. And you want everything to be on the same frequency, tuned in to the same station that you are tuned into. And this is a way to do that, especially if you can hang it up where you can see it every day so you don't forget about it. Another thing that I do is, once my vision board is up and together, I will take pictures of different segments of the vision board, and I'll use it as a screensaver on my phone. I will print it out on little pictures and glue them inside of my planner. Just all different things like that, so that I keep this vision board active in my daily life. It's not just something that I did in January and then I forgot about it. So it's always a work in progress. And another story, like one year, for actually several years, there's been a couple items that I've had on my vision board that I would put every year in the center of my vision board, and they just weren't happening. Like, especially there's this one of this idea that I had. I thought it was $1 million idea. It just wasn't happening. And, you know, like Mean Girls, it was, stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen. It was like that. And I knew the company I wanted to work with. I knew what I wanted the product to be. I was very specific with it, and it just was not happening. And I decided last year to let it go. So I took it off of my vision board. I took that company off of my vision board. And wouldn't you know, a different company in the same industry came forward and reached out to me for a similar but different item. And it was almost like I had, by being too specific to my vision board. It created resistance to what was actually meant for me. So there's definitely some space in here for, you know, what is meant for you and what you want to happen. So you have to leave space for that as well. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to start gluing these. So this is going to be my background. Hi, Mary. So Monica says, I've been stuck in this rut for years and I'm done with that. I created my first vision board last year, but it had no guidance, so it's kind of scattered. Oh, thank you. Yes, you know what? I think it's good to start, when you start doing vision boards, like maybe the first one is busy and scattered, but it is the first step to having a direction. So that is so good that you did that. And I like to add some color to my board, so I'm gonna cut up some paper here, and I'm just gonna put this down here just to give it a little pop of color. You don't have to do this, but I just feel like it gives me room to journal or whatever else I want to do. As you know, I'm super crafty, so I like to incorporate. Oh, okay, so Nerdy Crafter, can you repeat the homework categories? Yes, I will be happy to. Okay, the homework categories. First you want to do, this is what I do. So I'm not saying this is the perfect way to do it. I'm saying this is my method of what I do. So you can alter it to fit however you want to do it. So I actually do it 10, but for tonight to make it easy, I just put 5. 5 or 10 top desires. Like, what are the things that you really want to accomplish this year? Like your dream things. Do not think of limitations. Do not think of excuses. If you had a magic wand that you could, you know, tap and it would come to be, what are those things? Be fearless. Write them down and don't hold back. So I wrote 5 things here. So after I wrote these 5 things, then I went into my journal over here and I wrote down, I take each one of these things and I write down why I want this. Like, why is it important to me? And then I write down, how will it positively impact my life and the people around me? Like, what contribution? And sometimes it could just be, it will help me relax. It will bring me joy. It will make someone laugh. It doesn't have to be heavy, like, oh, this will change the world. It's just, their power is in little things adding up to big things. So it, you know, how will it positively impact? And then I put in, what is the end goal that I want from this? And, you know, for a best-selling book, you know, I want to sell, you know, be able to say I sold 1 million copies of the book, or I want to be able to contribute X amount of money to my favorite cause. So I go through each thing and I write those down. So that's part 1 of the homework. Part 2 is these 2 easy ones. I write a list of all the things that bring me joy, all the things I love to do. And just let this free form flow. Like, don't stop to think about it. If it's watching TV, if it's plopping on the couch with a bowl of ice cream, if it's running, if it's, you know, buying a croissant when you travel, like, get specific and just write out all of those things that bring you joy. And then lastly, I put out a list of all the things that I'm grateful for. And it can be little things, big things, you know, it could be things like, oh, I'm grateful that I'm breathing right now. It could be, I'm grateful that I didn't break my favorite paintbrush yesterday. It could be, I'm grateful I had money in my account today to treat myself to a coffee. It could be, I'm grateful that this client paid me. All the things that you're grateful for, just fill it up as much as you can. And once you have that, your mind is in like a nice place, because what that does is condition your subconscious to think of all the good things that you have going in your favor. So as you build your vision board, you're on a roll, and it's like, yes, let's do this. These are the things that are meant for me. And then I also talked about how I use magazines to cut things out from, but I also am intentional. So I go through and I go through Pinterest or Instagram, and I print off items that correlate to what my goals are, to what those top 5 desires are. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know I have my own weird method of doing stuff, but I get into this stuff. Like, I really, really love it. And I think it's fun to see what other people put together, especially if you keep that mindset of, you know, if I could wave a magic wand and have this happen, this is what it would be. This is what I would expect. You're just releasing, you know, all the reasons, all the excuses and reasons that we tell ourselves why are the limiting beliefs, basically. The name of book, These Things Meant for Me. Oh, I love that. I know I do have another publishing project in the works, praying it all goes through. I keep getting a step closer, and I'm not ready to put it on this vision board yet, but I'm going to make a private one where I'm going to have it there. So this is my house, because this year I just felt like working on our house. So my husband and I, we are redoing our kitchen. We redid our front lawn. We're redoing the bedroom and the garage, like just improvements. So I'm putting that so that we stay focused. We want like something that looks open and airy like that. And now this is the home section. So I have this little one here. I love waking up to the smell of the universe conspiring in my favor. And I feel like that fits with the home. You know what I do want to do is I want to make some little memes for manifesting to use in crafting. Okay, so then I think over here I'll add my travel pictures. And I know I had said you can divide it into 4, but you can just group them however you want. So I'm going to put my travel pictures up here. Is everyone working on their boards? You're watching, Mary? Oh, here's another kitchen one. So one of my things I had on my list here was about, I didn't put the house on here, so I normally do 10. So as I would put, you know, this like doing our house, then I would go in and write why. And my why for the house is because we've had our house for 21 years. We've never really done any remodeling to it, and it's time for a glow up. And I want it to, you know, we're in our empty nester stage now. Our kids have moved out and they're doing their own things. So we're just kind of, you know, recalculating, resetting the house for us as a couple, just the 2 of us again. So I have that. And I think this bestseller one, I'm going to put this right in the middle. Taking notes, starting good. Hi, Rena. So Monica, promise me that you will take action. Like, taking notes is awesome. The real magic comes when you sit down and put the time into doing it. You will feel so good putting it together. Like, you'll be excited for the year. And you know, this is you know, I'm doing this with pictures I found in magazines and online, but you could also incorporate your family in here. You could put group pictures of your family and your loved ones to continue that energy of health for everyone that you love. And I'll put some money stuff over here. So, you know, you could make it your own. You could totally make it your own. And like I said, I'm going kind of fast with this, but normally making one of these should take you a couple hours to get into everything. And even if you can set it aside, if you need to go get some more magazines or print stuff out, don't feel like you have to rush it. It can be a work in progress. And now I'm going to put the stores that I want to have my products in. I've had HSN on my vision board since 2015, and it finally happened in 2021. Isn't that cool? Like, I believe in this stuff so much. Do you prefer the offset style? Marilyn, it is totally up to you. However you want to do it. I'm a hyper creative, so I kind of like just putting it all over. But it's totally up to you, however you want to do it. Whatever speaks to you. And I'm putting another best-selling author. And one thing that I've learned about this, and if you want more content like this, you can look on TikTok. Oh my gosh, there's so many awesome people on there sharing ideas about manifesting and vision boards. So you just look up the different hashtags to see that. But it all starts really with believing this. By doing a vision board, what it's doing is it's getting ingrained into your subconscious. That's what's happening, because what I've learned is that the universe only knows to say yes. So whatever you think in your mind, the universe will say yes to. That's how the energy works. So if you say things like, I'm always broke, this is so hard, everybody hates me, the universe will say yes, yes, yes. However, if you say, you know, I'm doing a great job, I have so much to offer, money comes to me easily, people appreciate me, my friends truly want me to succeed. You say these things to yourself, and it changes that energy. That is what I believe. Now, you cannot change what people think about you or free will or anything like that, but you can change how your thoughts create action. And I always look at it like my thoughts become my brain's to-do list, because your brain is like, what are we doing today? And so my thoughts are giving my brain the to-do list of what needs to happen for me. So once I really wrapped my head around that concept, I started saying, okay, let's do this. We're all on the same team. And that's when things started happening. That's when the shift came. Everything from money to career stuff. The one I'm working on, full transparency, I'm still working on health and getting healthier. I've had this block with that, and I'm working with a therapist on it, and I have a $2,000 treadmill in my daughter's room, and so that is going to be my new challenge for this year. I shouldn't say challenge, I should say that's going to be a new, and look, I haven't even put it on my vision board. So there's like somewhere in my subconscious I have resistance to that. So that's something I know I need to work on. Now, where's my cupcake? No, not really. So it's all a work. We are all a work in progress. And look at this first one I saw, how a life can be transformed. Isn't that cool? I was just talking about, you know, changing things. So I'm going to work on one for health. That's so funny that I didn't even put it on my board yet. So you can go through here. Experience the lightness. I love that. I think this is a magazine I have an article in. I think that's why I have it. So hopefully I won't cut up the article I wrote. But the fun thing about going through magazines is that it's very spontaneous, and it's a way that, you know, yes, we can plan out and choose the things and print them out, but when you're going through a magazine and you just find phrases or words that are meaningful to you, that makes it all the more special. And this magazine is called Spirituality and Health. And I love this magazine. It's really good. And so we're going to go through. And so what I want to do, we have about 15 minutes left. Oh, Guadalupe, in the past, I struggled all my life. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been intermittently cutting out sugar, and that's good, but then I'll forget, and then I'll get on it again. So I'm constantly working on that. But that's going to be my goal, is to change my mindset about that. So thank you for that encouragement. We're all a work in progress. So this is something I want to show you that I make, that I just love making these. These are little booklets, and I have a video of this already on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page. And it's just like a little booklet that I started making these during the quarantine. When we were all on lockdown, I was just really, I'm a very social person, and I was really bummed that I didn't get to see people. And I started making these to keep track of the good things that I was doing each day. So I took out my little papers, but basically it's a little pocket book, and it has these different 5 pockets. So every day I would take a little index card and write down what I accomplished that day, like the best thing that happened to me that day. And it was so cool to go back and read all of them, because they were very meaningful, and they're all those things I had forgot about them, but at the time they were important to me. So I'm going to show you how to make one. And I'm going to use a plain piece of paper so that you could see what it looks like without all the patterns going on. This will work on any size of paper. I like using the square one. And we're going to fold it in half like this. Like this. On this side up like this. And then one time in the middle. So if you want to make the little pocket, you just fold up one side like this, even. Flip it over. And you could use pattern, scrapbook paper. Took a small booklet, wrote down what I want to be. Oh, I love that, to be a stay-at-home business owner. Great. Yes, Fina, these little books are just so cool. So now what we're going to do is we have so you're going to see how it's like a W. We have the valley and the peak and the valley. And we're going to take this middle right here and snip just like that. And then you hold it on each side and bend it over. Do you see that? We snipped in the middle where the peak was. I have to, oh, Charlotte says, I have to find a place to live. It has been really difficult. I've been meaning to do a vision board on your video. Show me a new home. Yes, yes, perfect. That's how you say it. Show me a new home that is affordable to me, that is safe, where I will feel safe, where I will feel comfort, where I will have nice neighbors. And another thing I do when during rocky times is I will say, show me how it gets better. Please show me how it gets better than this right here. And that seems to help a lot. Okay, so now that we have this little booklet like this, we can add washi tape to trim all of the edges. Now, anyone who is just tuning in, I will review this real quick again. We're making a vision board, and I walked everyone through the step that I do for my vision boards. I start with top 10 desires, just crazy desires. I don't overthink it. I remove all limitations, and I just put those things that I want. After I put those things, I go through and I write down why I want these, why I want this item, how will it positively impact my life and the people around me, my community, and then the ultimate end goal that I want from it. So I do these 3 things for each item that I put on my top desires. And then I do a list of all the things that bring me joy and a list of all the things that I am grateful for. And once I'm done doing all of that, then I start work on my vision board. And I print out specific items that I want that pertain to the goals that I put on my list. And I also go through magazines to find items that fit with it as well. And I'm just gluing these down. It takes me a couple hours to finish the whole thing because I like to incorporate, you know, crafty things and pictures and different things like that. So that is the vision board project that we're working on. And right now I'm showing how to make a little pocketbook that you could use to put down your affirmations, the different things that you have going on in your life that you're happy about, the things you want more of. I feel like writing it down is just so powerful. Rather than just thinking it, writing it down. So here's some washi tape. And you could even use magazine cutouts for this. You could use masking tape and make your own type of washi tape. So I'm just going to coat all of these. So we have about 7 minutes left. Does anyone have any questions? I'm on Instagram and TikTok as under Crafty Chica, or I'm here on this Facebook page. If you need me for anything or have a question, I would love to see what you're making. And, you know, all of this, like if you take some time out of your schedule. And oh, you know what else I forgot to mention? Where do you get washi tape with affirmations? I got this at Michael's. I found these at Michael's. This is just brown craft paper that I'm using. Africa. Oh, Rob, you're so welcome. What do I do with my old vision boards? Some of them I keep. I have in my closet. I have them. Sometimes I'll get rid of them. It just depends. I do take pictures though. I take pictures of all of them. You know, one thing I forgot to mention is that not only will I journal about how will this positively impact my life, I also put how will this change my life? What are things that I will have to get used to when these things happen? How do I prepare for success? So for example, or what do I need to change? So to be a best-selling author, how is that going to change my life? What do I do to prepare for that? I'm going to realize that I'm going to have to devote more time if I want to continue that. So maybe that means less time for crafting, less time for making my mugs. You know, I'm going to write these things down because it's always kind of a compromise. You can't have everything at the same time. You have to make space for it. And we just aren't physically capable to have everything at the same time. So that's another thing that I journal about, is I just, you know, talk about that with myself on my journal of how things will change. You know, being married, I think, okay, what are my husband's goals? What does he want to attract into his life? How am I going to support him? Because it will be really weird if I do everything for myself and we're in a marriage partnership together. I want him to be happy too and have his goals. So that's part of my affirmations, is for us to succeed as a team where we both are doing things that we love to do. So you really have to take the time to think of all the different angles, because it's, you know, that's why people, when they win the lottery, they freak out, or they spend all the money, or they become more broke than before they won the lottery. You know, you have to prepare for success, just like my friend Eliana says. So here's the little journal, and these are super cute because then you could put in, you know, a little index card. I saw some of them I made without the pocket. And then this is another idea for a little journal. This is just a blank greeting card, and you punch 2 holes in it, and then you cut some paper and you put the paper inside and tie it with some string. And it's a cute little journal that you could make to go with your vision board. So if you don't want to get a big clunky journal, you could do something small like this, and then, you know, put an envelope there so that it goes with it. And let's see, someone just had a question. I missed it. Let's see. Here we go. Kathy, what are some affirmations that keep you positive? I know this requires patience. Sometimes my negativity. Okay, so Nydia, one of the things that I learned, I'm going to flip this camera around now. One of the things that I learned is everything is temporary. That has been very profound for me to realize. So if something, sorry for my hand there. So what I have learned is that if something is good or bad or hard or easy, it's temporary. So either make the most of it and celebrate it, or know that you will get through it one way or another. That has been really helpful. And knowing that, you know, like my mom and dad would always say, this too shall pass. And, you know, we're going to get through this. And I also think, you know, when you're going through a tough time, you think, what is the worst that can happen? and how can I handle it? And this is what I did last year, because I went through some rough times last year. I had some really difficult decisions to make. And I sat down in my journal and I wrote, what is the worst thing that can happen? I wrote down like the 3 main concerns. And for each one, I put, what is the worst that can happen? And what's the plan B for that? And can I handle that? And that was so liberating. And it just helped me get through it and know that, yeah, everything is temporary. And so that's just something, realistic to think about. Yes, how will this change my life? Oh, Joanne's asking, do you create vision boards only at the beginning of the new year? So I'll do a big one at the beginning of the year, and then I take pictures of it, and then I incorporate that all throughout the rest of the year. So I've even like pre-scheduled emails to myself to remind me of the things that I put on my vision board. Let me move this up a little bit. So I do that big one, and I check in on it a lot. Oh, thank you. And let's see if there's any other questions. How long did it take for you to open your boutique? So the boutique we had for 4 years. And, it was an amazing story, because I think it was like 2016. I always knew I wanted to own a boutique or co-own a boutique. And it was always just kind of on my wish list. But I had this mindset that it would be too expensive. It would be hard to keep up. Would people come? I had all of these limiting beliefs. And my friend Nellie Galan, she had me go to a financial retreat. And I sat with all these women who were multimillionaires, and they had boring businesses, but they were multimillionaires. And I had to sit down and I had to write down business plans for 3 different ideas. And one of the ideas was the boutique that they said, this is the strongest one you have. The other 2, like one of them was, I'd put to open a media company and with video production and stuff. And the other one was an Airbnb. And then the other one was a boutique. And they're like, this is the one that's most solid, that has the best chance of succeeding. And I wrote down how much money that I wanted to spend on it, what I wanted it to be like. And you know what? Like within a month or so, a friend of mine who had a store that was so cute. I would always go hang out with him in his store. The second half of his store, that person left and it opened up. And that was like within a short time period that I had sat down and wrote out this business plan for marketing and everything. Yes, Nellie is amazing. She changed my life, and that conference changed my life. And so that's what happened with the boutique. We did not know what we were doing. You can't wait for perfection, that kind of thing. But it was, our community loved it. It was a really cool shop. So hi, Evelyn. So that is the story of the boutique. So I would say if you're interested in doing a boutique, like you really have to think about inventory. If you make the inventory, are you going to have time to run the shop and make the inventory? How are you going to fill in? What is going to be the theme of your store? What is the price range that you're looking for? Remember, you have to have insurance. You have to consider the businesses around you. So there's a lot that goes into it. I'm actually putting together a blog post about it. Let's see. Do words or action items go on board or just images? Monica, that's a really good question. Again, it is totally up to you. I incorporate both. I incorporate last year's vision board. I had I actually taped my journal notes on each section of the vision board because I wanted to look at it and remember right now in this moment, why did I put these items here? What is going through my head? And it would even be cool to do a little voice note to remember it. So I incorporate both words and photos. Oh, Corky, I'm sending you a huge hug. Oh, Deborah, I'm glad you like it. Let's see. Are there any other questions? Yes, this too shall pass. Thank you, Blanca. Yeah, that's what my parents would always say. Because it's, time moves forward and we have to choose how we carry it with us. And, it's just something that we have to learn if it's we're going to carry it as a burden to be a martyr, or if we're going to learn from it to see how we can be better. Joanne, I'm so glad you liked it. Yes, start those. I'm the same way. I buy blank journals like crazy. And now you have a starting point. Yes. Last year, I got a journal for that, went with my vision board. And it started off beautiful. It started off like so inspirational. And it turned into a diary because I was going through so many struggles last year and I didn't want to talk about it with anybody. And I just put it all in that blank journal. And I still have it. And part of me is like, I should throw it away. I should burn it. But then I'm like, you know what? It's part of my story and it feels good to look at it and see how far I've come. So use those blank books, fill them up. Don't overthink it. Just sit down and write down. I have another journal here and I love this one. I get one of these every year. It says one good thing that happened today journal. And I love the paper on it, and I go through and I write a little story in there of the best thing that happened today. So you can use those blank books to fill them up. Yes, vision boards for law of attraction. Clara, yes, open a small gift shop. Aw, thank you. You guys are so awesome. So Nancy's saying she's going to make a vision board inside her journal and review it regularly. Yes, great idea. It doesn't have to be on a board. It could be however you want to do it. Whatever works for you. That is the thing. So if you don't want to hang it up, if you're always in a journal, so here's something you could do, like get a blank journal. And you could create little vision board pieces throughout the blank pages. Or maybe put, like go through and cut some of these things out and just tape them inside the blank journal on blank pages. So as you're using your journal and you open a page, you will have something cool there that you found. Oh, Anna, yes, the little books are super easy. And I have a video on YouTube and here on Facebook where you can slow it down and watch it. Rena, Nellie changed your life. Oh, Rena, thank you. Yes, the bestseller will be the journal. I know, I should do some kind of journal book. I work in card or miniature size. I could use the card template. Yes, definitely. Oh, wonderful, Stephanie. I wish you so much success. I think the key to success is consistency. Consistency and believing in yourself. And knowing when to walk away, knowing when to enter, and be fearless. Be fearless to take on a new project. Be humble enough to leave something that maybe isn't working, that you tried your best at. It's okay. Life will go on. You will get through it. Hi, Araceli. You guys have been so wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you to lifeexperienced.com. Please go check them out. They have some really fun things on their website where you can find other people to interact with. And I'm sure we'll be doing more projects here every month. Let me know what other kinds of classes you would like me to share here on my Facebook page, because I'm excited to do that. Oh, yes, lifeexperience.com. And yeah, drop a note in the comments of what you think would be fun, and I will put it together and we'll do it. So thank you, everybody. I wish you so much success for this year, for your vision board. And don't forget to make your list and have a wonderful weekend and night. Bye-bye. Can you, yes, we're going to post this and I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel also. Bye-bye.